What's poppin', homies? It's Gossip Girl, your favorite commentary fairy. Let's get into it. Today we're going to discuss the Suzanne Morphew case. Now, those of you who don't know about this case, she disappeared on Mother's Day. And her husband is accused of murdering her. But before we jump into all of that, let me bring you up to speed. Let me just take you back and then bring you up to date with all of this, okay? So Suzanne Morphew, she had just celebrated her 49th birthday, days before she went missing on May 10th, 2020, all right? So this case is a year old. From the $1.7 million Colorado mansion she shared with her husband and their two daughters, okay? And their daughters are adults. She allegedly had gone for a bike ride and never returned, with a neighbor raising the alarm after Mallory and Macy Morphew were unable to contact her on returning from a camping trip to Idaho. Okay. Now, her husband, Barry, had allegedly been in Denver, 140 miles away, and stayed in a hotel there the night before as he prepared for a landscaping job. Now, around 5:46 p.m. that day, Mother's Day to be exact, the Chaffee County Communication Center received a report of a missing woman in the area on County Road 225 on West Highway 50. Okay, so the Morphews have been married since 1994, and they have two adult daughters together. And if you look at the pictures, you would think that they were a happy couple, but sometimes pictures are deceiving, right? Now, Suzanne has survived cancer twice already, okay? So she beat cancer twice, and that's a blessing within itself. Now, a search immediately began with drones and scent tracking dogs used to try to track the former teacher down. Barry initially claimed that Suzanne could have been the victim of an animal attack, although dogs were not able to find a scent. Suzanne's bike was found at the end of a nearby hill with little damage. On May 12th, 2 days after Suzanne's disappearance, the manager of Poncha Market, a nearby store, said that Barry knocked on the window and handed her a note, which was weird. The brief and bizarre message, scribbled on a scrap of paper in black felt tip pen, contained what he was describing of Suzanne, and asked the manager to keep an eye out for her. So he wrote down baby blue bike helmet, biker's clothes. Okay. You could have just told this lady this. Why would you write down a piece of paper? You could have knocked on the window and said, hey, my wife is missing. Could you please be on the lookout for a baby blue bike? She's with bike helmet, and she's wearing biker's clothes. Write it down on a note and hand it to the woman. Of course, I'm going to think that's bizarre as well, when you could have just spoke it to me. Okay, so let's move further. It contained no physical description of his missing wife, and he didn't leave any contact information. Okay, so that's also suspicious. You describe the bike helmet and biker's clothing like that's really a good description, but you didn't say what your wife looked like. You didn't leave your contact information. He could have written down a description of what he was wearing. I thought it was weird because he didn't explain what color her eyes were, the color of her hair, how tall she was, anything. And this is coming from the store manager, okay? Okay, now by May 14th, Barry announced that he believed his wife was abducted and offered a $100,000 reward, with a family friend offering another $100,000 on top of that. 3 days later, he posted a tearful video to Facebook in which he was pleading for Suzanne's return. See, this is why when a wife is murdered, or a spouse, let me just say a spouse, when a spouse is murdered, or when a spouse is missing, the other spouse is a suspect, okay? They are a person of interest until further notice, until they could be ruled out, right? With these type of cases, 9 times out of 10, it is the spouse that has killed the other spouse. If it's, 9 times out of 10. And Barry, I had got a weird feeling about Barry when this whole thing was playing out. Okay, something does not sit right with me with him. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. All right. Oh, Suzanne, if anyone is out there and can hear this that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back, he said. We love you. We miss you. Your girls need you. No questions asked, however much they want. I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad, Barry added. Anyway, it came just 2 days after the police announced on May 15th that had discovered an item belonging to Suzanne nearby her home. On that same day that Barry posted his video to Facebook, the sheriff's office ramped up the investigations as water sites were searched and residents were asked to keep any camera footage they have between May 8th and May 12th. Now, it wasn't until May 19th, 9 days after Suzanne was first reported missing, that the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, CBI, confirmed the Morphew's house was being searched. Pictures from the scene show evidence, bags being taken out, but the search warrant was sealed by the court. So basically, $200,000 reward on the table, no questions asked, whatever the case, and that's what the family was offered. 3 days later, May 22nd, a search on a second property began. Now, Suzanne's brother Andy set up his own search, okay? He already set up his own search for his sister, and I would have too, okay? So 3 days later, on May 22nd, a search on a second property began. The search on the riverfront Salida property, 12 miles from the Morphew home, took 3 days. A concrete slab on site was dug up, but reportedly did not yield any further leads on Suzanne's disappearance. Now, on the first day of the search, the sheriff's office forced to deny rumors circulating online that Suzanne had been found or any arrest was made. Because sometimes when you get stories and something hit, yes, people do form groups on Facebook, online to talk about it. And there's a lot of theories and discussions. It's going to always happen. People just trying to put their own theories together. There's no harm in that. But, you can't call the police with those kind of tips because you have a theory, especially if your theory is so far-fetched. So I don't think any of us who are just talking about the case, I don't think any Facebooker, Instagrammer, Snapchatter, or wherever you're talking about this case, Reddit, YouTube, anybody should be calling. Okay, the police, because that's wasting time, it's wasting energy, because they can't just get through your calls and get to the people that may know something, so if we have theories and we have discussions, we got to keep it in those groups or keep it on the platform that we talk about it. But don't call bothering the police about things that is only going to push it back, okay, and somebody else who really has information will call in. It's only delaying everything. But it's good that you want to help. You know what I'm saying? It's really good that you want to help. But as for theories and discussions, the police don't need that because they got their own thing going on. And sometimes, 9 times out of 10, they got more than what we know. Okay, so The sheriff's office said the property owner was not tied to the investigation, but that Barry Morphew had previously carried out landscaping work there. The search of this property ended again on May 24th, as authorities said they were unable to make any connection to Suzanne's case at this time. The case remained quiet for weeks before cops returned to search the Morphew's home on July 9th as neighbors began calling for answers about the disappearance. I've lived here for 31 years now, and we've had river accidents, but nothing like this, Mary Branson told Fox 21, as other locals called for more information from law enforcement. Now, Barry, he was saying that he thought his wife was attacked by an animal or she was abducted. He just throwing stuff out there, okay? Suzanne's family had also remained quiet on her disappearance until Barry spoke out again after 3 months on August 11th. People don't know the truth, so they're going to think what they're going to think, he said, as he again pushed his theory that she had been attacked by an animal or had a run-in with someone she knew. However, by the end of the month, Suzanne's brother Andrew Mormon was calling for volunteers as he mounted his own independent search funded by an online donation page and accused his brother of being involved. Okay. Now, 3 days later, further details emerged on the weekend that Suzanne disappeared. 2 employees of Barry's claim to have entered the hotel room he used in Denver on the Sunday she was reported missing and found it smelling strongly of bleach and covered in wet towels. The bed hadn't been slept in or laid in or nothing. It was just kind of laid on something, Jeff Puckett said. So he said the bed hadn't been slept in or laid in or nothing. It was just kind of laid on or something. So basically he's saying that I guess Barry's bed was barely touched. Okay? It was just laid on like he took a nap. Maybe he got in the shower. Maybe he got in, took a shower, and that was it. Just washed up and left. That has nothing to do with Suzanne's missing, Barry told Fox 21 of Jeff's claims. So, despite the silence from the sheriff's office and any other updates, the search for Suzanne had continued, with her brother's search also launching on September 24th with hundreds of volunteers. Now, the Morphew family they moved to Colorado in 2018, right? So on September 28th, it was reported that evidence had been found near the Morphew's home, reported that the FBI had been called to a plot of land owned by the family when cadaver dogs picked up a scent. The FBI was expected to dig up the area and conduct a search. Private dive teams were in the area for a search on October 6th, but no other updates were given on the case until Barry was arrested this week. The sheriff's office had claimed that to preserve the integrity of this investigation, we cannot reveal all we have learned, nor all that we are doing, as it thanked the community. Now, as the search was ongoing, Barry Morphew put the family home up for sale October 6th. He claimed that his daughters were scared of staying in a place where he believed their mother had been abducted. Okay? It was just sold days before his arrest. Barry Morphew was arrested Wednesday at 9:15 while reportedly at one of his work sites and taken into custody without incident. He made his first court appearance on Thursday as he was read his charges of first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant in his wife's disappearance. He was held without bail as his daughters cried and mouthed, "I love you." Okay, so the arrest remains sealed, but the district attorney announced in a press conference that she is confident in the murder case even without Suzanne's body. Barry and Suzanne Morphew tied a knot in 1994 after she was diagnosed with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Friends said that Suzanne, who was originally from Indiana, had just overcome cancer and was starting her new life before her disappearance. Now, Fox 21 News reports that she had overcome, like I said, Hodgkin's lymphoma twice. Once before her children were born and after the Morphew family moved to Colorado. She had her last cancer treatment October 1st, 2019, half a year before her disappearance. She was not here long enough to make any new friends. But she has made a lot since she disappeared. They had a few friends and stuff. They're church friends. Other than that, they didn't have much outside of that. I didn't even want to, for the first 3 months, think that he did it. Detta Wilson had said. The more we got on this, I kind of leaned that way. Wow. Interesting, right? Okay, so the sister of Suzanne revealed that the Colorado mom had made concerning comments about her relationship with her husband, okay, who is now charged for her murder. Melinda Moorman phoned in a local Colorado radio station, Heart of the Rock Radio, to discuss her sister's disappearance and presumed death. When asked whether Suzanne had ever said anything that raised any red flags about her relationship with her husband, Barry, Moorman replied, yes, Suzanne did. She definitely made implications that she had concerns about her safety and the condition of the relationship. I think deteriorated quite a bit over the last several years. Moorman also said that while she and her sister didn't talk very often, they shared a very intuitive and very close relationship. All right. Moorman also said that 2 days before Morphew disappeared, she sent a very profound, very transparent text that showed the state of her mind. Though Moorman declined to reveal what the message was specifically. Now, my thing is this. If you want to say all that, go ahead and tell what the message said, okay? Don't sit there and be telling me, well, she sent me a very, transparent message to show what kind of state her mind was in and then not reveal what the message was. Come on. Moorman isn't the first sibling of Suzanne to speak out. In September, long before Barry was charged, Suzanne's older brother, Andrew, said he believed the foul play was involved in his sister's disappearance. He believed foul play is in play here, so he had a right to feel that way. My sister was murdered, Andrew Moorman told ABC Denver 7, and she was hidden within 3.5 hour window. So that I can draw a circle on that and tell you she's within that circle. And that's what I know happened. While Suzanne's body has never been found, Linda Stanley, the DA for the 11th Judicial District, has said she is confident in the evidence against Barry. Now, during her radio interview Sunday, Moorman said her family is dealing with a very difficult and complex grief. Without her remains, it is devastating and heartbreaking to place, a heartbreaking place to live. And I could understand that. We do hope and we do pray her remains will be found and the person responsible will come clean and reveal the truth about where she is so that we can give her a proper burial and love her the way that she needed to be loved. In addition to his charges, Barry also faces charges of felony forgery of public records and misdemeanor elections mail ballot offense after allegedly submitting a presidential ballot in Suzanne's name after she vanished. This guy is... Wait a minute. He has not entered pleas to the charges against him, and his attorney could not be reached for comments. Wait a minute. Let's go back for a minute. Let's just go back, okay? He's also facing charges of felony forgery of public records and a misdemeanor elections mail ballot offense after allegedly submitting a presidential ballot in Suzanne's name after she vanished. Now, you know dang on well you're not supposed to do that. Basically, wow. So you mean to tell me you're trying to cover up Suzanne's disappearance by putting in a presidential ballot in her name, but she had already vanished? How stupid are you? I'm telling you, this thing got Barry all over it. This thing got Barry all over it, honey. Okay, so even more charges were filed that included tampering with a deceased human body and possession of a dangerous weapon. Okay. Representatives with the court are concerned over the amount of information in the 130-page document, the lengthiest and most detailed affidavit the court has ever received in about 30 years of a criminal case. Okay, they also want to protect the victims, the two daughters of Barry and Suzanne. Court officials want to prevent harassment, abuse, or intimidation of the victims, Mallory and Macy Morphew. I could understand that. These young women are in an unimaginable situation and should be given time to process what has occurred and the time to review or decide not to review the evidence alleged against their father. Okay. Details on the case that has gained national attention as a Colorado man is accused of killing his wife will not be shared with the public for the time being. So I guess they're going to keep us wondering what's going on. Now, Barry's next court date is scheduled for August 9th. So I guess, we're going to have to wait and see what goes on in between that time. All right. So the timeline of this case. May 10th, Suzanne Morphew reported missing. May 11th, this is in 2020, okay? Search crews were called to the area she was believed to be in near Chaffee County home. May 15th, items belonging to Suzanne were found. May 17th, Barry, the husband of Suzanne, shares a video with the public asking for help finding her. It can be viewed, online and all that kind of stuff. May 19th, authorities searched the Morphew's home. May 22nd, a separate residential property is searched where a concrete foundation had just been poured. Barry Morphew is arrested May 5th of 2021. So he just got arrested May 5th of 2021. That's why some of these cases take time, because they're building up evidence. When there's time they had to get an arrest made, it would happen. But he just got arrested May 5th of 2021. May 6th, first court appearance for Barry Morphew. And that is the timeline for right now. So his next court date is August 9th of 2021. This man know where his wife is at. He's in the landscaping business. I believe he did something to her. His Suzanne's sister, Suzanne's brother, they believe he is part of this. And I believe it as well. So, what do you guys believe? Do you think Barry Morphew did this? And if you do, tell me why he did. Why do you think he did this? So, I think he is. I think he just trying to throw people off, saying that she was adopted, kidnapped and all that kind of stuff, or the animals got to her. Just outlandish stuff. But it was a reason why he did this to her, but I want to know why. What was the reason for this? This woman survived cancer twice, okay? They live in a mansion. He sells the mansion afterwards, okay? Why would he sell it? Because he said his daughters, was scared to live there, and all the stuff with the mom happened, they didn't want to live there anymore. But we'll see. More evidence will come out, and we just have to wait on that. So, let me know in the comment section, what do you think? And I'll talk to you guys later.